The Subaru Forester has long been the go-to SUV for those who prioritize practicality, safety, and rugged performance in equal measure. For 2026, Subaru hasn't just given the Forester a mild facelift. It's sharpened its off-road chops, added more tech, and refined its road manners. But does this latest version still feel like the loyal adventure buddy Forester fans swear by? I tested it in snow, dirt, and street to find out how well this compact SUV holds up in the real world. Subaru's symmetrical all-wheel drive system is the backbone of what makes the Forester a true all-season warrior. Unlike part-time AWD setups in many rivals, this system sends power to all four wheels all the time, ensuring constant traction no matter the terrain. On snow-covered roads, the grip is confidence-inspiring, even when climbing steep inclines or taking sharp bends. What really adds value here is the enhanced X-Mode function. It now includes settings for snow/dirt and deep snow/mud, adjusting throttle response, torque distribution, and traction control accordingly. In snow, the Forester manages will slippage subtly and keeps progress smooth rather than jerky. On slippery dirt trails, X-Mode locks in traction like a champ, offering a low-speed, high-control setup that gets you over obstacles and loose gravel without drama. It's not a full-on rock crawler, but for weekend adventurers, it delivers rugged dependability without requiring off-road expertise. The system now works better with hill descent control, making steep downhill stretches less nerve-wracking, especially in poor grip conditions. While the hardware hasn't changed massively from previous years, the software tuning makes it smarter and more confident in tricky conditions. Subaru didn't reinvent the wheel with the 2026 Forester's suspension setup, but subtle tweaks make a noticeable difference. On paved streets, the ride is impressively composed, soaked up potholes, road cracks, and expansion joints with mature damping. It doesn't float or bounce around like some overly soft crossovers, but it also avoids the harshness of stiffer setups. This balance becomes even more impressive when you take it off-road. The Forester's independent suspension allows each wheel to articulate and absorb uneven terrain, which means the cabin remains calm even when the surface below gets rowdy. On dirt, it feels robust, composed, and unbothered by loose stones or undulating trails. Snow is where the suspension tuning really shines. The setup keeps the car level and stable even in deeper powder or after riding through plowed mounds. You don't get excessive squat, dive, or body roll, even with sudden direction changes or emergency stops. Compared to many crossovers that feel floaty or top-heavy in challenging conditions, the Forester feels grounded and predictable. This makes it more confidence-inspiring whether you're navigating an icy alley or bouncing along a rocky backroad. And while it's still based on a unibody platform like most modern SUVs, Subaru has clearly prioritized real-world usability, making the suspension versatile enough to deal with varied terrain without needing aftermarket upgrades. Under the hood, the 2026 Forester sticks with its familiar 2.5-litre, naturally aspirated flat-4 engine. It's not going to win any drag races, producing a modest 182 horsepower and 176 lb-ft of torque. But Subaru's engineers have focused on making the power delivery feel more linear and responsive. The CVT, continuously variable transmission, has been tweaked to simulate gear steps more convincingly, particularly under throttle. On city streets, the result is smoother acceleration from a standstill and more predictable behavior during low-speed maneuvers. It still gets a bit drone-y under hard acceleration, but that's the CVT's nature. On dirt and snow, however, this combo works surprisingly well. The flat 4's low center of gravity contributes to better balance, especially when the traction varies beneath you. And because CVTs can hold revs in the optimal range, you get consistent torque delivery when climbing snowy inclines or navigating gravel climbs. There's enough grunt for most daily and recreational tasks, but enthusiasts might wish for a turbocharged option, especially when hauling or passing at highway speeds. That said, the predictability of the engine-CVT combo adds to the sense of control. No sudden surges, no hunting for gears, just a steady pull that gets the job done. One of the Forester's greatest strengths is its interior packaging, and the 2026 model doubles down on that reputation. The boxy shape isn't just a throwback to old-school SUV styling. It translates directly into excellent visibility and space. From the driver's seat, the sightlines are nearly panoramic. Large windows, thin A-pillars, and a low dash mean you can spot pedestrians, snowbanks, and trail hazards with ease. In snowy conditions, This visibility makes maneuvering much safer and less stressful. Out back, the square rear end and wide glass give you a clear view for reversing, even with some snow clinging to the camera lens. Inside, the cabin is built for practical use. There's generous head and legroom for both rows, and the cargo area is impressively flat and accessible. The load height is low, which makes it easy to toss in gear, groceries, or muddy boots without scuffing the bumper. The materials feel more durable than luxurious. Soft-touch plastics where it matters, and tougher trims where they'll take abuse. Subaru has added more USB-C ports and a better wireless charging pad this year, catering to modern needs without overcomplicating the layout. Heated seats and a heated steering wheel come in handy during cold mornings, and the HVAC system is powerful enough to warm the cabin quickly even when temps plummet. All in all, the interior is function first, but doesn't feel cheap or Spartan. While Subaru is known for off-road credibility, it hasn't forgotten that most drivers spend the majority of their time on tarmac. On the road, the 2026 Forester feels more polished than ever. Road noise is better insulated this time around. There's more sound-deadening material behind the dash and in the wheel wells, which cuts down on tire roar and wind whoosh at speed. The steering is light but accurate, making lane changes and tight turns feel natural. It's not sporty in the traditional sense, but the weight is well tuned for daily commuting. On the highway, it cruises quietly and confidently, even in poor weather. There's enough power for smooth overtakes, and the updated adaptive cruise control does a great job managing speed and distance, even when traffic patterns get unpredictable. The ride remains supple over long distances, and because the seats offer decent bolstering and lumbar support, fatigue doesn't set in easily on longer trips. Even when hitting road salt, winter potholes, or slick slush patches, the Forester maintains a calm composure that many compact SUVs can't match. It's not flashy or luxurious, but it does the basics with an honesty and effortlessness that makes it genuinely pleasant to drive. Whether you're commuting through the city or embarking on a road trip through mixed weather, this thing just feels dialed in. Subaru has long made safety a selling point, and the 2026 Forester doesn't skimp. The latest version of the EyeSight driver assistance suite is standard across the range, and it's smarter and quicker to respond than before. Dual-color cameras now have a wider field of view and better depth perception, making adaptive cruise, lane centering, and emergency braking feel more intuitive and less intrusive. On snowy roads, this tech is particularly helpful. Lane markings might be obscured, but EyeSight can still track vehicle movement and road edges with impressive accuracy. The new driver-focused distraction mitigation system also helps keep you alert, especially on long winter drives where fatigue creeps in faster. Blind spot monitoring, rear cross-traffic alert, and reverse automatic braking are all standard on higher trims and work well in slick or low-visibility conditions. One of the underrated heroes is the automatic high beam system. It switches quickly and reliably, which makes rural snow-covered roads much safer to drive at night. Subaru has also added a snow-specific calibration to its pre-collision braking system, helping reduce false alarms when snowflakes reflect light back at the camera. All in all, the tech here doesn't try to be flashy. It's about real-world utility, especially in unpredictable winter weather. And in a vehicle like the Forester, where families and adventure seekers alike are likely to depend on it, these systems give that extra layer of reassurance. The 2026 Subaru Forester isn't about dominating spec sheets or turning heads. It's about doing the job every day, in every condition. Snow, dirt, or asphalt, it feels planted, dependable, and thought through. Subaru hasn't radically changed the formula, but they've refined the ingredients to create something that just works. Whether you're navigating winter commutes, heading into the backcountry, or cruising the suburbs, this Forester proves it's still one of the most well-rounded compact SUVs on sale today.